Welcome, everyone. In the kitchen with Gracie and Amy, we are going to make a lot of food today. We have decided to do this in two segments, like we did with our sauces. We had done 3 segments with the sauces. We're going to do 2 segments for today, all about the homemade pastas, or I guess crepes aren't really pasta, but homemade pasta dishes, I want to call it. So and then later on in another video, we will show you the what's
a special dessert.
Special dessert. So just stay tuned. I'm not sure if I'm going to make it a separate video or if I'm going to link them all together. We'll see how long this is before I start boring people with the length of our video. So anyway, I will first make we're making manicotti. So which, between my mom and I doing research, discovered so many things about manicotti.
Yeah, no idea.
No idea. Not a clue. What's interesting is that my Nona didn't really make this. Like my mom was the one who kind of made the crepes. My Nona had bought the cannelloni shells, right? Cannelloni shells.
Right. Yes.
They're pre-made shells. They're dried pasta.
Yes.
So my mom can tell you a bit more about how my Nona would make them. Buy them. Did she do this all your life, or?
As long until from the time I can remember, until I learned how to make crepes, she always bought the shells, the tube, okay, and stuffed it. And well, she had to parboil,
right?
Not totally,
right?
To give it a somewhat cooked, and then she would take the filling and stuff the ends, and then proceed the same as you do crepes, okay? But she never used, did not ever make crepes. And when I got the recipe, which came from an in-law of hers, she was astounded. And I am never going to use those cannelloni shells again.
So what's interesting about this, what we found, is that it's not, crepes are not they're not called manicotti in Italy. It's called crespelle, which is the crepe. So this dish is kind of like it's Italian, but it's sort of Americanized with using the crepes,
right,
and the rest of the ingredients to make the manicotti. Yes. So it's really a fascinating thing to find out that, so that makes sense as to why Noni really never made crepes.
Never really made crepes. Exactly.
So when I was a little kid, of course, my mom always made the crepes. She was the one in charge of the crepes. I remember always being fascinated by her crepe pan. So, it looks like an inverted pan. So like the inside it's pushed out, and you heat it. So the outside is what you dip into the batter. So I always thought that was fascinating, because you would dip it into the batter and then you'd pull off the crepe and you put it on a piece of, paper, like parchment paper or wax paper. I remember being a kid and wanting to, dip it in and make the crepe and then pull it off. And I don't remember what time, like how old I was before you started letting me do that. Maybe like 9, maybe right. 9 or 10, but I loved making crepes. I thought it was the most fun thing in the world.
Yes, and I to this day, I bought a new crepe pan, and it's no longer that I have to stand at the stove. Now I can just sit at my counter. It's electric, and have all the batter ready, and I dip it in there. I put it back on top of the little electric heating element, and then it cooks. I take it up with it and just keep doing it, and I'm just sitting here like I am right now.
Which is much easier. Having a crepe pan is much easier than doing it the way I'm going to show you, but I don't have a crepe pan, so I am going to show you a different way.
All right.
It's not bad. So I'm going to pause the video just so you know when we come back, it does jump a little bit. I'm going to pause it because I have to move the camera to where to the counter so you can actually see what I'm going to do.
Yes.
We'll be right back. Okay, so we are back. So I am heating my griddle pan, and it's similar to making pancakes. Only this is a thinner batter than a pancake batter. So I do, it's a non-stick griddle, but I like to put down just a little bit.
Right, just a little bit, right.
So let me just get, a spatula and spread that out. Just so these crepes don't stick. Okay. Then I made my batter, and of course we're going to have the recipe for you when we upload this video. So I have my batter, as you can see, and I use a, oh my gosh, I always say the Italian word, the colpetto, but it's a ladle. So I use a ladle.
Is your griddle hot?
Yeah, it's really hot because I turned it on before we started.
Okay, good.
Yep.
You
so I
take a full ladle, right?
No, it's just not a full ladle.
Okay.
Just half a ladle.
Kind of in a circular motion there.
Yes. So
there
kind of got like a.
Oh, doesn't that look lovely?
Can you see that all? Okay. So it's not perfect like a crepe pan would do it.
Right.
A little odd, but
that's okay.
So I can get
long to cook. Once you have that, it doesn't take long. Perfect.
Okay, that's a little bit better.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right, Mom. I think I do need the spatula.
It goes quickly. It does have to be, when you're using a crepe pan, it's hot, okay? Because you have it directly over this burner of the stove, okay? So it's very hot. In your case, you don't have to, but it has to be hot. But it should go almost as quick as when you're doing it with a crepe pan.
Yes.
You also can use a small, small pan that's got sides, and put maybe a quarter cup, maybe of batter in there, and you can swirl it around, okay? And then get your fork and flip it in there, and then flip that out.
So this is it's not perfect. It is easier to use a pan, like my mom was saying, right, because you can control where it spreads. The only problem is I don't have any pans that are, all my pans stick. Everything sticks to the pan. No matter how much oil I put in, it sticks to the pan. So these aren't perfect, but honestly, you won't even notice. These are, right, when you make manicotti, you're going to put a sauce over it. So you're not going to really notice if they're not circular. It's not like you're making,
a little bit less in your cupino, the Italian word, and maybe that won't spread as much if you do a little bit.
It's cupino? I thought it was, what is a colpetto then?
Oh, that's perfect. See, Amy, that's good. See, the less you put in the cupino, well, nobody called it cupino.
Oh. I wonder where I got my word wrong. Maybe my word's Italian. I don't know. I have
no idea.
Okay, so
that's beautiful. Now, when you do that, okay, and you pour it onto your thing, take the bottom of the thing and there. Now you don't have to. I was gonna say you could put the bottom of the cupino on top there and swirl it around.
Oh, right.
A little bit. But that's see how much better that came out. There you go. Perfect.
My recommendation is definitely, a smaller pan.
Right.
But like I said, it's not going to be a big deal.
They also have smaller capinos, okay? Probably like that big. And that will should give you the exact amount of batter that you could put in the pan. And when you're swirling it around, you'll have a nice thin crepe. Crepes need to be thin when they're finally done. They need to be thin because you want it to have that light and airy taste to it.
Mine are funky crepes. Okay, I'll do one more.
It doesn't matter. I think that's absolutely perfect, that one right there.
Okay.
You saved the best for last, Amy.
There you go.
And let that cook a little bit there before you turn it. Mm-hmm.
Yes, you can see it bubbling up on top.
Right.
I mean, it's really like a pancake, only it's just thin. A very thin pancake.
Yes, exactly. It's really the filling that matters.
Yes, that's the most important part.
Wow. Beautiful.
Okay. So I put them on the parchment paper to the side. Now I'm just going to turn off my griddle so it doesn't burn my house down.
Right.
Oh, I probably should. Of course, I don't have any kind of vent in my house. It's like I live in the Stone Ages. No vent. Okay. So I'm going to pause this again so I can move the camera. I just don't want you to be getting dizzy when I move the camera. We'll be right back. Okay, we're back. So now my mom's going to walk me through making the filling for the crespelle. Go ahead, Mom.
Yes. Okay. Here we go.
I said crespelle, the Italian word.
The ricotta. You take the ricotta, put it in that bowl.
Okay. Today everything plastic does not want to work for me. It's like I'm gonna have to do strengthening exercises to get all the plastic off. It's like Fort Knox over here with the plastic. Okay. Yeah, sure. Ricotta down. Okay, so we got that.
Egg.
I'm sorry?
Egg.
Oh, the egg. Good thing we have our aprons on. I'm like a mess.
Well, that's for okay, your cheeses, your grated cheese, and your mozzarella cheese.
So I have my mozzarella. Okay. And then I didn't measure the grated cheese yet. So how much?
I'm going to say you have a pound. I'm going to say at least 3/4 cup, at least.
Okay.
But when we will put everything on the instructions so that you will know exactly how much you need.
Okay. That's good.
Now your parsley.
Okay. The parsley.
Now you can put it here if you want. You can put a little salt if you want, but the cheese is salty, so You really kind of don't have to. And you put some pepper if you like to put pepper in your filling. Whatever you like as far as that goes, pepper and salt. Don't put a lot of salt because, like I said, the cheese will be salty, and you don't want. You can't take it out.
Yeah.
My recommendation: don't put it at all. And then, if you need salt when you are eating it, then you could sprinkle a little salt on it.
Right. Okay, so I'm mixing it all together.
Okay.
Which goes really quick.
Yes.
Just wanting to make sure, you want to make sure that egg is.
Yeah, make sure the egg is incorporated. Yes.
Okay. I keep forgetting that when I do that, when I hit that it's so loud. I apologize to everyone how loud that sounds. Every time I watch the video and I'm like pounding, like, oh, they must think I'm nuts. Okay, so I have the filling, as you can see.
About a spoonful. Put it in the.
Oh.
Put it towards the closer to one end, not on the end, but closer to one end of your crepe. And roll.
So let me just get everything so you can see. Let me move this over.
Move it back a little bit.
Move what back?
The bowl. Move the back bowl a little bit.
Oh, hold on.
But you won't be able to see your crepe. There. Okay, good.
Can you see the? I know it's kind of hard to see the crepe because of the
just
the
hold
curtain, but
up the crepe.
So I got the. Oh, you know, wait a minute. Maybe if I put it right here, can you see it a little bit better? Okay.
Yes.
So I take a little. She said, take a little bit of the spoonful, put it on the back end of the crepe.
Well, not totally on the back end, but yes.
Close to the back end.
And then roll.
Okay.
Roll from the yes. Yep. Just roll. Yep.
Okay.
And you place it in your pan. That's going to have a little bit of sauce on the bottom. It will have that.
Well, I'm not going to place it in the pan just yet because I don't have the sauce.
No, I'm just saying that's what you're going to do. Just put that to the side. Just put that to the side. Yes.
Wait, I just got to get my other parchment paper.
Oh, okay.
Okay, there we go. So I got one. Okay, so I'll take another one.
Yep. Very good.
And see how it doesn't really make a difference with if it's a little weird looking because
it doesn't make a difference really. No, I mean you don't want you don't want it to be really jagged.
Yeah, not crazy weird looking, but if it's not completely circular, if you don't have one of those cool crepe pans, that's fine. Apparently, this was just too much moisture in this one.
Yeah, just take it up just carefully. Yep. That will happen.
Oh, it's a tiny one. Yes, you're right, Mom. This one was the best.
It just takes practice.
It does. Crepes take practice, let me tell you. When I did this before, and I did the crepes by myself, I had a bigger pan. It was a nonstick pan. And they were the entire size of the pan. They were huge. They were like this big. Great.
Yeah, big crepes.
So funny. Okay, so we have our crepes, and then later on I will show you. Later on I will show you the finished product. But right now I'm going to turn it over to my mom so she can make the homemade pasta. So yes, I'm just going to move this out of the way. There we go. Should we take a pause?
No, I'm fine.
You're good? You're ready to go? Okay.
I'm ready to roll. Yes.
Okay, so let me just turn this so I can see. Okay.
Okay. I'm going to show you how to make homemade pasta. And I wanted to say, while Amy was making the crepes, that the reason that we've chose these two items is because my mother only made these things for basically the Christmas holiday or the Easter holiday.
Right.
So because it's the beginning of the Christmas season, we wanted to show you what our family does or did when we were all together. And homemade pasta was one of the biggest things my mother made. Okay. So there's many recipes for homemade pasta. I'm just going to show you mine because for me, it's the easiest to do. Okay. I always do it in a mixing bowl because I don't like to take that time to mix it by hand. But when my mother mixed it, she would take the flour and put it on the board, put a little well in the center, crack the eggs, put them in there, and she would mix and mix and mix. That to me takes too long.
Yeah, it does take too long. I remember.
Knead. This to me is much easier. So
Amanda and I, and probably Danny and whomever else with her grandchildren, we all, probably David and Mary Beth, we all made pasta with noni, the old-fashioned way. There was no mixing it. No electric mixer.
No electric mixer. No. So I've got in here the flour. Gonna put my eggs. I'm going to start to turn this with a regular paddle. Okay. I want to get this incorporated a little bit. And after it starts to get incorporated, I start adding a little bit of water. I just get a glass of water, and then I start to add when I could tell that it's going to make a nice firm dough. So I started adding a little bit of water, and I let it churn and churn. Usually it ends up to be about maybe 2 tablespoons of water. Okay, when I start seeing it coming together, I stop it. And then I take the paddle off. And I put on my dough hook because you have to knead the dough. And then I will add a little bit more water at that time so that it will all come together, because I want to see what it will look like. Okay.
Yeah.
Too, depending on the moisture and the humidity in your house or the weather, your flour sometimes has more moisture in it and sometimes less.
Right.
So I'm going to put this back on and I'm going to start it.
That was the things that Noni always, during the winter time, when we'd go down, probably weekends, mostly weekends, not really during the week, but during the weekends, she'd have us either making homemade bread or making pasta. That was the two things we made. I loved making the pasta.
A good 5 minutes for it to get all, if you're doing it this way. Of course, if you want to do it the old-fashioned way.
Yeah. Definitely build those muscles.
I'm going to stop it. I want to check the moisture level of this. Oh, it's pretty good. Okay, it's pretty good.
So you want to make sure you're making sure it's sticking together?
Yes, I'm making sure it's sticking together. Because if it's sticking together, I do not have to add a lot of water.
Oh, okay.
I just have to put just a dab in this one. That's it. I'll put it back down. I will have to take this out and do some kneading.
Yeah, right.
I can't do it all in here because it doesn't all come together. It's even when you make any kind of dough like that with a dough hook, you end up, even with bread, you end up taking it out and kneading it a little bit on top of your board.
Right, that makes sense. Yeah.
I think this is looking wonderful.
It's so funny because I've made homemade bread by myself. I've done that, but I've never made the homemade pasta by myself. I think I just always thought it was time consuming, but right. Well, because I didn't have an electric mixer, and then my mom gave me one, and now I'm like, oh, I can do that.
Oh yes, and
that I can do.
Okay.
Now I just need the pasta maker.
Yeah. Bring this down just a little bit so you can see it.
Nice.
Okay, so here's my dough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to knead it because it's kind of like not together all together.
Right.
And you want to knead it so that it comes all together and makes a really nice smooth dough. When I taught class at Broome Community College in Binghamton, New York, I taught a lot of cooking classes. Okay, well, I had my machine, and we did it in there. Well, the dough, I made it really, really hard. Okay, which was fine. Okay, it's better. The harder it is, the better it is. Well, I couldn't knead it. So one of the guys, there was a couple of men that took the class. I said, could you knead the dough? Oh my God, the Days did such a good job. It was the smoothest dough I'd ever seen. I'm telling you, and it was great. Oh, it was just great. So you're going to do this for at least a good 2 minutes, 3 minutes until you get a nice, smooth, really smooth dough. I remember working in a store in my hometown where the person had a little like a deli, and they wanted homemade pasta. So my mother said, oh, my daughter can do it. Great. So I'd make 5 pounds at a time. So I have this big well of flour and all these eggs. Oh my God, that was awful. I mean, there was so much flour and eggs, and I was kneading. Oh boy, never. I said no more. That job didn't last very long.
I'm laughing because, of course, you've told me this story before, but it's always funny when you tell the story about your pasta making experience.
Oh no, that did not last very long. I said to my mother, no, I don't think I want to do this. Out. The more you do this, the better it is for the pasta, because you want all that flour to come together.
Well, you're actually making the gluten work.
Yeah.
Because that's what gives it its elasticity, is the gluten in the wheat.
And so you just keep doing this. You're going to keep doing this and keep doing this. I'm not going to sit here and bore you. So I'm going to keep doing it.
Yes, let's all watch Mom make the dough. I'll watch her knead the dough.
I want to tell you one thing about this dough. I'm going to do this. So far, it's good. I'm going to do a little bit more when we take a pause. But I will tell you that normally my mother always used regular flour. Okay. Well, she probably didn't use regular flour when she was in Italy. Flour that I found. Zero flour. It is so wonderful for your pasta and pizza. 00 flour. You can find it in most grocery stores. I got this at Wegmans. Okay. I think if you patronize Aldi's, I think Aldi's might have 00 flour, but I'm not sure.
Right.
But I've used this now several times, and I'll tell you, this pasta is absolutely delicious.
You can search for it because I did. I have searched. I mean, I didn't buy any yet, but I've searched for it. You just like go on the internet and search double zero. You can actually put the words in DOUBLE and then ZERO. You can also put in actual zeros, and it will. You can put in 00 flour, and it comes up the same way. But you can. It definitely tells you where you can buy it, if there's any like local stores. So
Amazon carries it.
Oh, well, there you go. See, Amazon too. Everybody carries it.
Okay.
But yeah, no, this is cool. I mean, my mom, when she told me about this a couple months or many months ago, I forgot when, but she told me about the 00. I was like, oh. So I did some research on it. It's pretty cool. That's what they pretty much use in Italy, in the European countries.
When we were in Italy, in Sicily, my cousins made pizza. They used 3 different kinds of flours, and one of them was 00.
Yep.
The pizza was out of this world.
Oh, yeah. Amazing pizza.
Amazing pizza. So I'm done for now. Yep. I'm going to let this rest, and I'll get my attachments all ready, so we can so I can show you how we
crank the pasta.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll take a little pause, and then we'll come back. Okay. Hold on. Okay, we are back. I have the manicotti in the oven baking. I made a sauce, and we'll show you after what the sauce is and everything. So my mom now is going to show you, now that the dough has rested, she's going to show you how she actually makes the pasta. Now she's got a couple. She's going to show you. Take it away, Mom.
All right. The dough has rested. Blue trick. Take a bowl, put it over the dough so it's so it doesn't dry out. Okay. All right. So now the first step is going to you have to make a flattened dough. I did one. I did one. Okay. This is the finished product. Okay. The finished one. Okay. So I'm going to show you now how it's done. Okay. I have the KitchenAid pasta maker.
She's got the fancy.
Well, let me tell you, thank you to the other daughter who got this as a wedding gift. She let me borrow it because for these, for the things I do, and for me to make pasta because I'm not doing it by hand.
Save that for the children. Let them do it by hand.
I put a little bit of flour down, and I just, pat it because I don't want it to be sticky when I'm going through the machine. Okay.
Right.
So what I'm going to do a couple times. What I do is I cut a slice off of here. I slice it off the dough, okay, of the roll. And then what I do is I flatten it to make it, to get it so I can get it started into the machine. I flatten it a bit, okay. All right. So then I do the first step. I put it on number 1, okay, and I turn it on. And it goes through. Now this was a big piece, so there's that. Now I have to cut it in half because it's too big for it to fit on this board. I don't have a lot of space here. Okay, so I'm cutting it in half. Okay, I'm going to put it through again. I'm gonna do it 3 times. I'm gonna put it through again to make it flatter. Okay, I'm gonna go down to 4. This is going to be experimentation on your part when you do it, okay? To see the thickness that you want your pasta to be.
Mm-hmm.
So here's that one. Okay, made it bigger. Okay. So now, I think I think this will be okay if I do it to the next one. I'm going to go down to 7. And see how long it came.
Nice.
Okay. I'll do another one.
Yeah, that is so much easier than the hand crank. Not to say you shouldn't try the hand crank, but that is easier.
Yeah. Um, okay. So I would like to show you. I mean, I'm going to put flour on here because I don't have a lot of room. I'm going to put flour so that they don't stick. And I'm going to do another one because I want to show you 2 different styles. One is fettuccine pasta, and the other one is like angel hair, like spaghetti. Okay. I got 2 attachments. Okay. So I've got to, so I don't want to do this. I want to get all this. You should do this part first. Okay. When you're doing, so do everything you do this first part of flattening before you're going to do the second part of making the pasta. Okay. So I'm going to do it again. I'll do 2 pieces. So I can show you the fettuccine and the spaghetti. Okay, go back down to 1. Okay, flatten it out. Okay, flatten it out. Roll it in some flour. This one I did came up perfect. It's this particular. Sometimes it doesn't come out as good. This is perfect as far as thickness and as far as the moisture content in here. One.
I'm just watching this and I was thinking how Noni would praise when we'd actually make, use the hand crank. She'd praise us because we were so strong. She'd be like, "You're so strong," she'd say, and we crank and go really quickly, and we'd show her how strong we were.
She loved us to learn how to make pasta.
Yeah. It was just the greatest memory of Noni is working with her, making pasta and making bread, because she just got so excited when we would, help her.
She taught her kids. She taught her kids how to keep the tradition alive of making the pasta. Okay. Okay. Okay, the next one.
So I was just for everybody else out there, not really for you, Mom, because we were talking about this. I was telling my mom when we were paused that it's just so funny that I couldn't believe that I was making the manicotti by myself, because I normally just help my mom, or I would help, Noni make manicotti. I've never really done it by myself. I've made crepes, filling them with different fillings, but I've never made it by myself. So it's just so funny. I'm sitting here like, wow, I'm actually doing it by myself.
Yeah. As you can see, it gets longer and flatter.
Nice. Yeah, totally. It makes sense as to why you'd want to get all the pieces flattened before you're going to go, cut them.
Right. All right. That is done. Okay, so now I'm going to take this one off. Here's this one. So I'm taking this off. putting to the side. I'm going to do the spaghetti first. Okay.
Mhm.
You have to make sure you get this fitted properly in here. There we go. Tighten it up really good. If you're using this, I mean, there is the hand one, of course. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to put this through. I'm going to see if I can. Okay. Let's see if I can. You're not going to see me too much, but you're going to see this is my drying rack.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what I'm going to do is I have this special tool also. Okay, so I'm going to start this.
Ah, very nice. Oh, that's cool.
Can you see that?
Yeah, slides right on there. Nice.
Oh, I got it in the way. That's the only thing with these kinds of things. You have to get it just right.
No worries.
Another one. Okay.
Looks good so far.
I'm going to do one more for the spaghetti.
I can't imagine having like the big manufacturers, making all that pasta all day long.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of work. This is just a little bit.
This is just a little bit, exactly.
But it is fun though. I must say it is like a great, I mean, I know I wouldn't do it every day. Like my Nona loved to. She always made pasta.
Always.
She's making pasta constantly, but it is fun to experience it or just at least try it. To make the pasta yourself.
I will tell you. I don't make it all the time, but when I do make it, I make a lot of it so that I can have it because
Right.
There's nothing like homemade pasta.
I know. It is delicious.
And there are machines out there that make all the different kinds of, shapes.
Right.
Quite expensive, but if you want to invest in it, then you can make that same kind of thing with all those shapes.
Very cool.
My mother had one. One of the kids, maybe one of the boys, bought it for her. She did have one of those. I have to take a sip of coffee, sorry.
Coffee break. Oh, now it's getting cold in my house. Oh, geez. Okay.
Okay, so now I'm going to do the fettuccine.
Oh, nice. So now our audience can use recipes for the sauces, go make their homemade pasta, go make their homemade sauces, and you'll have a beautiful meal.
Exactly, a beautiful meal. You got it.
Yeah, start now, right? And by the time Christmas comes, if you celebrate Christmas or whatever holiday you celebrate,
whatever holiday,
you can have it all prepared.
Exactly.
You can freeze all your sauces, get your pasta made, freeze that.
One more.
Very nice.
Okay.
Awesome.
All done. So this is your, I gotta cover this back up so I can make the rest of this later. This is your, I'm gonna pull it forward. Hold on a minute. Let me just kind of move this a little bit. Now.
Yeah, we can see it.
Here is your pasta, all dried. It's drying. Now, what you can do is cook it right away, or you can let it dry on here, and then put a plastic bag, let it really dry.
Right.
Plastic bag, put it in a plastic bag. My thing is I would put it in the fridge because there's not preservatives. You're not putting preservatives in it. I don't know if I chance it to put it in the cupboard, okay?
Yeah.
That's just for me, okay? I mean, you probably can do it, but I wouldn't take a chance. I would dry it completely, put it in a plastic bag, and stick it in the refrigerator.
Yeah, because even
go ahead.
Even the fresh pasta, like you can get the fresh pasta in the supermarket, but they keep it in the refrigerated areas. They don't keep it out on the, even if they've dried it all. I think it's still, like my mom said, it doesn't have preservatives in it. So you want to make sure you're keeping it fresh, or keeping it, cold.
On the outer side, you can take this off, lay it out if you have room in a container, and cover it up nicely and put it in the freezer.
Sure. Yeah. There you go.
And this is raw. Okay, it's not dried. You just throw it in the freezer. Okay.
Yeah.
So I have my a pot boiling, and I'm going to go and take this pasta and go boil it. It will only take, once that, I'm going to have to turn it up a little bit, but it doesn't take that long. It takes about, once it starts to boil, 2 minutes to boil fresh pasta. Okay, so we will return.
Yep.
And then we'll show you the finished dish.
Yes. Sounds good. Okay, we are back. So we have our finished food. Mom's with yours is homemade pasta with what on it?
Well, I made before I made a little oil and garlic mixture, because you all have the sauce mixtures and stuff, so it's no use for me making sauce again. And what I did was I put the oil and garlic. I took the pasta I drained it, put it into the pan with the oil and garlic. I mixed it all.
Nice.
Put some pepper and cheese on top.
Nice. And then I'm actually gonna have a picture of the pan. So I'll have a picture of the pan on the screen or on the group page. But I did take 2 out so I can show you.
Oh, I wish I were there.
This, I put the red pepper sauce like we made in the previous video. I put a little red pepper sauce when I baked it, and then put a little sprinkle cheese, as my niece calls it, sprinkle cheese.
Taste it, Amy. You got to say, you taste yours now and see what, and then I'll taste mine. How is it?
Delicious. Oh my God. Wow.
We've never done red pepper sauce.
No, that was good.
Okay.
That's good.
I'll take mine just a little bit here.
Mm-hmm.
The thing with this. Mmm. Oh. Wonderful.
The garlic and olive oil, I must say, is so good. So good on pasta. So delicious. Well, that is our show for the manicotti with the crepes, the crespelle, and homemade pasta, the fettuccine, and the angel hair. So until next time, buon appetito.
And arrivederci.
Bye.